Yo, what's good, my people? Today we're back with another NQ trade review. Today was easy. Today was brilliant. Really good day for fundamentals and IFG. I just want to talk about the 4 hour real quick. I did mention in the last video, this would be 2 days after I didn't actually do a trade review for yesterday. I can do one. I could do a mini one now, maybe at the end of this video. But I did say in the last video that I believed we would tap into this daily. We had a little volume imbalance, and then we had a bearish FEG there, and I did say I expect us to respect that FEG and trade lower just because of the imbalance below. We've still got that monthly gap that's just slightly been filled, so that's exactly what we did over the past 2 days. We kind of just traded lower back into this this range where we swept these daily lows. But yeah, on the 4 hour at the time of market open, not much to really look at. We can go actually to the exact time of market open. Let me get rid of all the drawings just to make everything more fresh, and we'll take it to market open, which was at 9:30. Of course, if we go on the 4 hour, you'll see if it will load. There we go. I don't know what's going on. You can see we are just sweeping this 4 hour low. So we've already swept that low very recently. So at this point, honestly, I'm just expecting buy side liquidity to be swept, to be taken. We just took one side of the market. So yeah, I'm just looking for buy side liquidity to be swept after market open. And this is what we do throughout market open. So we kind of trade up, we induce all these 4 hour / 15-minute lows to the left. My laptop is moving mad slow right now. I don't know what it's on. But you can see we have a range of like relative equal lows here that we just sweep in one move, and that's gonna fuel this bullish kind of pump up to kind of sweep buy side liquidity like so, and then we get the setup for the day. Typically this is where you'll find, especially trading the way I trade, you find the most entries right after market open, right? You find the most entries when we sweep buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity off of 9:30 open, right? We trade in one direction, and usually you can find an entry and an entry with high probability as well back down to these 9:30 lows. Whenever we create a wick like this, which is usually what we do, if we don't, we create a big candle, we create a draw on liquidity with that 9:30 low or high. And in this case, we have a nice long wick. So we've created sell side liquidity. So now the other way we traded, we want to find a way to maybe get in back down to this massive draw on liquidity in form of the 9:30 lows, and very easily we did. We go on to the 1 minute, you can see we are rejecting off of a 1 minute fair value gap, along with sweeping, I'd call that buy side liquidity, kind of camouflaged high there, but we did sweep. You can see that level was tested once or twice with candles around it, so that's why I'm using that as a high. And then we had a beautiful inverse with a nice little V-shaped recovery like that, and the RR is just beautiful. Unfortunately, this trade did end up being a break-even trade. So if I play price, you'll see. However, break-even at partials is a win. You know what I mean? It's a win. It's exactly what we want. And a break-even for me is always better than, do you know what I mean? It's always better to go break-even than risk taking a loss. And I'll talk about the reason why I have that break-even rule anyway in another video. But yeah, so you can see our break-even point would have been this high here, just because it's the open of that bullish fair value gap. So I'm gonna go break-even at that point, and then we probably take partials at this high here, and that's that trade kind of broken down to the T. Really what makes this trade so good is the drawn liquidity. We're targeting that 9:30 low like we like to do. Really nice inverse, great momentum. The draws on liquidity were very good in terms of RR. We're delivering from a fair value gap. We did just sweep buy side liquidity. I'd call this an A plus, not an A plus, sorry, one below an A plus, so an A setup. What would make this an A? Honestly, something like this, where we maybe tap into this fair value gap here. Let me show you. So we tap into this fair value gap. We kind of trade down like this, then we sweep these highs, and then we go. That for me is even better, right? Because we have a short-term liquidity sweep, right? Where we do that little fake out where we sweep buy side liquidity, you know, a bit of like older buy side liquidity. So, you know, old, maybe like in this, for example, you know, this was from 8:30. So an hour ago, we're sweeping those highs, but straight after we sweep those highs from an hour ago, it's a little fake breakout or breakdown, right? Then we sweep those highs and then we go down. It's called like a stop breakout, or I don't know what they call it, a stop fake. But that's really good, really good. That would have made an A plus, but it's just an A for now. And then there's actually a trade that is currently playing out down here, which I think this one can catch a lot of traders off guard. So if you do trade IFVGs, I'm going to explain to you why this trade here is just not favorable, and you shouldn't take it. I don't care if you can look at it and see it's winning and it's doing its thing. I do not give two Fs, like it doesn't matter. So let's go for it. I'm going to show you target is going to be these lows down here on the 15-minute, relative equal lows. And that's a very, very good target. You can see we're actually close to hitting this trade's TP. But originally, like just looking at the chart, if I play price back a little bit, looking at the chart, what do you see, right? Immediately you see LRLR, so low resistance liquidity here, right? That has not been swept. It has not been swept. And this is literally telling you the draw of liquidity that we have above is incredibly strong, right? Especially LRLR on the 1 minute, with this many highs engineered. This is a big draw on liquidity, and we already just swept this first one, you can see, and usually that means we're going to go up and tap the rest. Now everything after that, it looks good, right? You can see we had that sweep on liquidity, then we're able to inverse this really nicely and trade lower, right? If we were using our strict rules, this actually would have been a break-even trade, by the way. So we would have gone break-even, because we go break-even at the next draw on liquidity. We would have gone break-even, and then it would have got stopped out around there. Lifetime, there's some, you know, situations where you wouldn't go if the draw on liquidity is that strong. In this case, however, you would have just gone break-even. Now, the literal only reason why this trade is something you should not have took is because we swept this sell side liquidity, and immediately we inversed this bearish FVG and we're shooting out the other direction, right? As if we're going to take these buy side liquidity, low resistance liquidity. And one thing you'll notice as well, that were London lows that we swept on 9:30 open as well. So yeah, that's literally it for today. The reason why I'm doing this, you know, early into the day before this is played out is because I am one and done. So I take one trade a day. If it wins, we're done, right? If we take a loss, we're also done, right? For evals, it's usually like 2 losses and I'm done. But if we're actually trading funded or lives, this is what we do. That's just the process of how we trade. I always think as a trader, you need to have a process. You need to have an idea of what you're doing. You can't just trade and think you're going to make loads of money. But yeah, this is probably going to hit TP, but this is a trade that you definitely should not be taking. So if you took this trade, shame on you. No, I'm chatting, but yeah, this isn't something you take. Don't get fooled by the fact that it's, you know, a winning trade. Anything can win. Like you can press buy or sell in any direction. You have a 50-50 chance you're going to make money. So yeah, brush all of that. But yeah, that's it for today.